You know, the new mid-engine Corvette is getting a lot of media attention, and justifiably so. It's a big step for Chevrolet and General Motors to put the Corvette onto a mid-engine platform. But it's not the first time General Motors has produced a mid-engine sports car. Let's take a look back now at the original mid-engine sports car from General Motors with Jim Bloombaugh of the Michigan Pontiac Fiero Club. So you're a big Fiero guy, and you've got one behind us here. What is this? Is it a GT?
It's an 87 GT. It's got a 2.8 liter V6, pretty much stock except the wheels, which got me in a different classification for a car show one time, but I'll live with it.
The GT was sort of the hot version of the Fiero because it had the V6 in it, right?
Yes, yes. And mine, I bought it stock just like it is. I've drag raced it. I take it to car shows, do everything I can with it. So, been down a quarter mile a lot of times. Very consistent car.
Yeah.
My daughter drives it a lot, and she's won a few races with it, so we enjoy doing it.
What other differences were there between the stock Fiero, or the four-cylinder versions, and the GT, which had the V6?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm not up on that too much. I've had both, and I've got one of each right now, but this has a lot more pep to it. The motor sits a little bit differently in there, and it's this is a newer version. I had an 84, which is a different body style, but this one here is my favorite of all.
Yeah. Does it handle any different?
Yeah, I think this one handles a lot better. I don't know. I'm not sure what they've done with the suspension. Every year they upgraded it till 1988, and when they got it really good and they could do something with it, then they discontinued it for some reason. So, but they went from 84 to 88, and I've got an 87, and I really enjoy the thing. So.
And whenever I see them, the bodies look awesome on them, and I guess that's because of those composite body panels. It's not just metal, right?
No. In fact, when you see one, you're not going to find any rust on it unless you look underneath of it or behind the panels, because it's all plastic. Everything's plastic on it. It's got a frame on it. It's got a subframe in the rear where the motor sits. It's a cradle, what it is, they call it. And it bolts up underneath, and that holds the motor, and then they've got steel reinforcements around it. In fact, if you look in the brochures, they have a blow-up of the structure and show where all the body panels fit on there. It's all glued and screwed together, so it's kind of difficult to work on if you have body parts you want to change on it.
Now these things are kind of, I guess, representative of the time period, sort of the mid-late 80s, that kind of style, wedgy, lot of lines. People called them kind of commuter vehicles at the time, but I always thought they were more of a sports car because to me they looked like little Ferraris.
Yeah, I think that's where they fit in. I think they were made essentially for a commuter car, sort of like some of the Toyotas and whatnot were, but they've got a real strong following now that for some reason they didn't take off. A lot of it was because the foreign cars were getting better gas mileage and American cars weren't keeping up that way. So when they introduced it as a commuter car, for whatever reason, it just didn't take off. But
well, they put those four-cylinder Chevette engines in them too, so they were kind of underpowered. And then I know they had some engine fires that gave them a bad reputation as well. Hate to bring that up here in front of your fellow Fiero Club guys, but you obviously have a different opinion on this than most.
My son was always on me about that. Dad, you're going to get in a rear-end collision, and somebody's going to smash up, and you're going to die. I'm like, I'm not going till my time's up anyway, so I ain't going to worry about it. But as far as the car goes, I've never had a problem with it that way, and I know they do crash tests and all that kind of stuff, but I don't care about all that.
Well, that was, I think the fires weren't even because they got into crashes. They were more like fuel leak issues and things like that, and I think they rectified it anyway. But the V6 version was actually a pretty hot car. Yeah. How much horsepower is there? Do you have any idea?
I'm thinking it's somewhere around 150, but it does a quarter mile in 16.5 seconds, which ain't bad for a small car like that with a small engine in it. So it's very consistent, and I drag race mine, so I enjoy the thing.
All right. And you're part of a Fiero Club here in Michigan?
Yep, the Michigan Fiero Club is what we're in.
All right. And if people wanted to see more pictures or find out more about the cars and your club, how could they do that?
We have a Facebook page, and we have a website. It's Michigan Fiero Club. Look it up, and you'll find all the information you want. So.
All right, that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing this with us today on our show. Yep. Appreciate it. Don't go away. Just around the corner, a look at the new Batmobile.
The Super Geeks Pandora Box 11 Plus is the ultimate retro video game system with upgraded computer processor, full high-definition video output for use on modern TVs, arcade-quality backlit buttons and toggles, the most games with over 3,000 8-bit and 16-bit classics, Super Mario, Pole Position, Mario Andretti Racing, and thousands more. Call 1-866-248-1490 or order online at supergeekssuperstore.com. Super Geeks,